What's up guys, Saiyan Legend here, back again with another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video we are going to be going over the Kizuna Clash information for the upcoming Kizuna Clash versus the Barto and Cavendish. So this is the new Kizuna Clash coming up where we are going to be battling Barto and Cavendish this time around, along with them getting their Super Evolution, which I was planning on making a video about that. But I decided that, I probably may still make a video on it, I don't know yet, but I'm definitely going to do a showcase because I find them to be very, very interesting with the Super Evolution. So you may see a video about me just talking about it for a bit. You may not, I don't know yet, but I'm definitely going to try to do a showcase for Barto and Cavendish because I do find the Super Evolution to be very, very intriguing. Some of it is kind of like to me, but a lot of it is really, really good. Anyway. For this Kizuna Clash, we have to go over 3 variations, and as you can tell by the title, I do have 9 teams for you guys. I don't want to make this video too long, but it may have to be just because I usually do 6 teams, which is going to be like the pay-to-win and the free-to-play teams. But this time around, I'm going to be doing less free-to-play and more accessible, since I feel like those are like teams most people can build in the game right now. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing accessible and pay-to-win teams. So I do have 9 teams, like I said. We're going to go over all 3 variations in this video. So without any further ado, let's get started. So starting off, we're going to be looking at the side variation of the Kizuna Clash. Now, there's a common theme among all of these variations. Driven is looking like to be the team that's going to be used for a One-for-All team. I personally don't have one yet. But I may not make one because some of these gimmicks are kind of annoying to get around for a One-for-All team. So I may not do one. I may just do some of these like high damage teams that'll just tank all of the variations here. So looking at the first variation being the side variation, yeah, Striker and Driven getting the cooldown. So mainly, bring those units there. On stage 2, we have to deal with bind, but it's going to be bind for the top left, middle right, and bottom left units for 8 turns, which does go down to 5 turns with sockets. So that's going to be a little annoying to deal with. On the boss stage, we have to deal with the enemy having immunity, paralysis for 5 turns, and damage reduction for 5 turns. Both of those effects going up by 1 after level 31, and we also get hit with the special limit for only 2 specials for a turn, and that debuff only lasts for a turn. So if you do have any units that do have that limit break ability, which there's only like a very small handful of them that have that, definitely try bringing them on this variation here. Ideally, you want to be probably using the new Legend Killer for this fight because he does have that ability and also can get rid of damage reduction by 6 turns. So that's one unit you could think of. The other unit obviously being Treble, the new Kizuna Rare Recruit Treble. That's going to be really good for this Kizuna Clash, obviously. He does have that limit break ability too. Sadly enough, there's not another class boosted. If it was like Free Spirit or Slasher, you could definitely bring like the V2 Odin because he does have that limit break ability, which it would have been awesome really, but they don't have that, so we're going to have to deal with Striker and Driven. So this accessible team that we're going to be looking at is this team right here, which is the Uta and Sugar team. So the way this team works is that we have Uta, who's obviously going to activate her special on stage 1, giving us the attack and orb boost for the following 3 turns, so that we don't have to, worry about having an attack and orb boost for this team. We also have the Sugar. Now, Sugar's going to be really good for her toy bear mechanic. It doesn't really help us getting around gimmicks or except paralysis, but we have Uta, whose captain ability does get around paralysis for us, so that we don't have to worry about that whatsoever. You can run double Sugar with this team though if you wanted to. You don't have to have your own Uta. You can run double Sugar, and that will still get around the paralysis. We also have the 5+ Dofi on this team, which obviously is really good with the 6+ Sugar because he does provide a 3-turn base attack boost for 40 cost or low characters, and with the toy bear mechanic, everyone does become 40 cost. He also does get around bind by 5 turns, so you can put him in a spot that won't get binded, and he will get rid of the bind for you. And like I said, that base attack boost lasts for 3 turns, so it does carry over to the next stage, which is going to be really vital here if you don't have a way to get around the special limit debuff, because you're going to have to find a way to get boosts on that final stage without wasting a special. Speaking of, we also have the event Kid and what's his name, Law. The event Law and Kid, which is really good for giving us a 3-turn chain boundary, which again does last until the next stage. They also have the support of Killer on there, which we'll get into in a minute. We also have the rare recruit Perospero. This is just the regular recruit from the Wano Big Mom batch, I think, from the V2 Marco batch, or like the Marco does the EXP boosting. That Marco is from that batch. What he does is provide a 3-turn chain boost that we can activate on stage 2, and it carries on to stage 3. He does also have the ability to boost the color affinity of Striker and Driven characters, I think it was. But you need to hit perfects for that, I'm pretty sure. So that's why I have Black Maria on the team, just to guarantee us a color affinity boost. And she also does reduce the damage reduction by 5 turns, which is why the Killer is there, because the Killer is there for the extra turn from the boss changing the number of turns the damage reduction lasts. Overall, this thing was a really solid team. You don't have to have the Shark Superb ship. You can use like Liberal Hind. You can use really any other ship that you have in your box. The Shark Superb is probably like the better ship though, just because it works really well with this team here. Now, there's not really too many replacements I can say for this team. Like I said, you can run Double Sugar for this team if you don't have an Uta as a friend captain, and that works just as fine, because with Sugar she can extend her own attack boost, and with Double Sugar it goes up to 3 turns, so you can carry it from the 3rd stage to the 4th stage if you want it from the 2nd stage to the 4th stage, and her orb boost lasts for 3 turns anyway, so all that's good and well and done. Now for the very high damage pay-to-win teams here. So for this 5 variation, like I said, we have to deal with bind and all that stuff, paralysis, damage reduction, and special use limit. So a really good unit for that debuff, the special limit use debuff, is Shirahoshi Manshiri, the V1 Shirahoshi Manshiri, because they have the ability to remove any debuff, any 2 debuffs on your field by 10 turns. So they're really good for this fight right here. And if you do have them and you don't have like a treble friend captain or a killer friend captain, then I would definitely recommend using them. So going over this team right here, we have the Uta and Yamato team. So Uta's going to work the same way like she did for the last team, get the attack and orb boost for the next 3 turns. Then on stage 2, we still have Law and Kid here, giving us a 3-turn chain boundary, but we don't have the support on them anymore because we do have 2 other supports on here. Now on stage 3, like I said, you can definitely use Shirahoshi and Manshiri to remove that special limit, and they also give you a full board of matching slots too. Which does work really well with the Yamato, because she can just change those into Wano slots and also give you a chain boost. And also, if you didn't know already, Yamato does remove the bind for us, so we don't have to worry about that whatsoever with her captain ability. Then we have the trio from the Super Suka, I think 8th Annie Suka Fest. They are really good at giving us color affinity. If we have full HP, we get the bigger one. And they also get rid of paralysis, so if you don't have a good way to get rid of paralysis, but you have them, they're definitely really suitable for this team here. We also have the Mr. 1 and Double Finger support on them, because they are able to get rid of damage reduction by 4 turns. And then that combined with the Sugar, where we have the rare recruit Treble on here, he also will get rid of 2 more turns of the damage reduction, getting rid of all 6 turns of it when you get to that level of the casino to where you get 6 turns of it. He can get rid of the other 2 turns, and then you have all the other boosts active and everything, and this is going to be doing some very, very serious damage here. And for this other team, we have the mainly driven powerhouse team. So we have Uta, 6+ Uta, and we have the friend captain, Kazuna Recruit Treble for this team build right here. So the way this works is, if we know how this Uta works, then you know that she's very terrible. Well, she's not terrible, but her effects are like very wonky. So what you want to do is, for stage 2, is activate Uta on the 2nd stage, and then you'll have her effects for at least the 2nd and 3rd stage, because after like the turn 3 of her effect, she kind of like debuffs herself in a sense. So you want to activate her on stage 2 for stage 3, so you get the turn 2 effects. Now we also have Heat and Wire on the crew here. Heat and Wire just here literally for the bind removal, and that's almost about it. We also have Super Tandem Kid, who's here to give us an attack boost. Now, for 6+ Uta, she's only going to give us the Orb and Color Affinity boost, but not the attack boost, so we have to use someone else for the attack boost, and that would be Super Tandem Kid. And he also would provide a chain growth rate boost too, so it's going to be pretty handy in getting really good damage numbers out of that. Now, the treble is there for the paralysis removal, and also he provides chain boundary. And he also does have the limit break ability, like I said earlier, for removing the special limit by at least 1 turn. So as long as you have that ability active, you'll be able to get rid of it, and you'll be able to activate other specials in that turn, which would include also the 5+ Kizuna Clash Olin, who does remove damage reduction by 6 turns, which is really, really good. We also have the Treasure Map Warrior, who's able to give us a chain boost and a base attack boost for our Driven and Powerhouse units, which is basically everyone on the crew. And now that we do have the Kid and the Heat and Wire on the same crew, we will be able to activate the Super Tandem of Kid when you hit with, I think it's with Kid, Heat and Wire, and another Driven unit. And they'll be able to do really, really good damage numbers with the Super Tandem on top of all the other boosts active here. Now moving on to the Int variation of the Kizuna Clash, we have Psy and Int getting the cooldown this time around. On stage 2, we have to deal with damage threshold for 5 turns, which is pretty. And on stage 3, we have to deal with more immunity. We also get a 80% damage health cut. We an 80% health cut. Sorry, an 80% health cut, which is a pretty significant amount of your health. Which does mean that we do have a death damage to worry about. So that's what's going to happen when you defeat the boss. He's going to hit you with 35,000 hits of damage. So if you don't have enough HP to tank that, you might want to bring a damage reducing ability. One comes to mind that is literally built for this would be the Hawkins, being able to reduce damage by 100%. So the units like him will be very useful here. We also get hit with unfavorable slots, special blind for 5 turns, and attack down below a 3.0 chain for 5 turns. So obviously bring either a chain lock or a very high enough chain boost with chain boundary to get around that. But after level 31, we get hit with another turn of special blind, so it's up to 6 turns. 6 turns of defense up, and we also have to deal with increased damage taken by 2 times for 3 turns. So that 35,000 death hit becomes like 70,000. So make sure you bring someone that can definitely reduce damage. If you don't have any units on the crew that have the increased damage taken limit break ability, to where they can just remove it by some number of turns. So just so you don't die on that stage. So this stage is pretty annoying here because you got to deal with death damage and 6 turn debuffs and the chain attack down debuff, which is really, really annoying. So for the accessible team here, we're going to be using a Shanks crew and Roger team. Now this team is, I would say, is a little flexible, I want to say. So stage 2, we have Raid Brook on our crew, who's able to reduce remove the damage threshold by 6 turns with double special, and can activate his own delay conditional boost with double special. He on the first special activation, he'll delay them, and then on the second time around, he will provide the actual conditional boost. I think it is. I want to say that's how it works. Either way, you'll be able to reduce the threshold, which is the main point here. You can also swap with Shanks into the quick version to get just a minor attack boost, so you can have enough damage output to take down that stage 2 boss. And on stage 3, we're going to be using the rest of our specials here. First, we got to activate the attack boost special from Roger's special. And then after that, you want to swap with Shanks' crew again to the side version if you used his swap in stage 2. And then with Shanks' crew himself, you can get a chain lock for 3.75, getting around the attack down chain multiplier debuff. And we also get a color affinity boost from Shanks because our captain is Psy. Then after that, we have Treasure Map Frankie being able to reduce the defense up by 6 turns completely. And he also will buff Shanks' crew's chain lock by, I think, plus 0.25, I want to say. So it's like a 4 times chain lock, I want to say. We have also the Film Red Rare Recruit Jinbei, who's able to apply a damage reduction to the crew, which is like a 90% damage reduction. Really, really powerful damage reduction ability there. And then after that, we have Versus Shanks giving us an orb and a base attack boost. Now, the Versus Shanks is completely replaceable with any other orb boosting special. If you have a level limit rank 5 Kuzan, 6+ Kuzan, he can give you an orb boost. There's other characters I can think of. I think Zoro, the treasure map Zoro, gives you an orb boost too. If you have an attack boost already, then you can get the 2.5, I think 2.25 orb boost from him. And you also have like the treasure map Nami Sanji, who's also able to give you an orb boost for free spirit characters and fighter characters, I think it is. So basically the entire crew, except for the Shanks crew, unfortunately. But those are just other options you have other than the Versus Shanks. He's just there because he also does give a base attack boost too, and he's just a really good orb boosting special. And that's really it for this team. Now, like I said, if you are going to swap with Shanks crew, make sure that you're going to be ending up on the Psy version of Shanks crew on stage 3. Just so you have a full board of Psy units. You can also, if you don't have the Megalo ship, or if not going to use the Megalo ship, you can definitely use Liberal Hind, who's going to give you a bigger attack boost. I think it is if you have 6 Psy units active on your crew. Now, before I move on to the next stage, I will say you can super swap with Shanks crew on this fight, because you will have enough turns to stall for the super swap if you stall correctly on the turtle stage, and then you have you get like I think 4 swaps out of that, and then your 5th swap comes in on stage 2, and then you can super swap on stage 3. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be building a crew with Shanks crew here. Now for the pay to win team, we are going to be using Hawkins this time around. So like I said earlier, Hawkins is really good for this stage because he is able to apply a damage reduction or damage nullification effect for the death hit that happens on stage 3. But starting off on stage 1, we are going to begin to charge our super swap for Shanks crew. Now, it's not for what you think it is. It's not for the attack boost because we do have Hawkins for that. It's mainly just to get a full board of matching slots on stage 3. Because as you can see, we do have Yamato on the stage, so obviously we want to get Wano slots. And she only does change matching slots and block slots to Wano. So this is a good way to get Wano slots off of Yamato here. Now on stage 2, we do have the rare recruit Psy Zoro from the Hawkins and Killer batch, who's able to remove damage threshold by all turns, and also being able to give the crew a defense down conditional boost from himself. So he'll reduce the enemy's defense to 0 and then apply the buff to the crew to deal more damage to defense down enemies, which is really, really good. Shanks crew, again, you can swap with him for the minor attack boost just so you can have more damage output for the team for that stage. And just make sure you super swap. Oh, obviously you got to super swap into the Psy Shanks after that stage too. So either way, it does work out. On stage 3, we have the attack boost from Hawkins from his super type ability, because we do have Zoro on the crew, which does activate his super type special, which is really good. We also get the orb boost from his special, and we get the damage nullification, like I said earlier, from his special. So like I said, Hawkins is really good. So if you can find a friend Hawkins, it would really help out here. Now Shanks crew, like I said, Chainlock, Color Affinity. Now we do have the Perona here. Now Perona is a really out there unit. She is, obviously she does get charged here because she is an end character, but she's there mainly because she's able to actually activate her negative conditional boost, which only applies to enemies through immunity if your HP is below 80%, which we definitely will be below 80% because of the health cut. So we're able to get off her conditional boost for this stage, and we can also buff our chain lock by plus 0.5, which is really good. Now, treasure map Frankie is here again to remove defense up like in the last team, and then like I said, Yamato is there for the Wano slots, and that's really it for this team right here. This team is going to be doing really good amounts of damage here. Okay, so for the last team for the end variation, we have a Kid Luffy Legend and 6+ Roger this time around. So if you know how Kid Luffy works, his captain ability varies between what stack he is at or something like that. So if you pass a turn and or defeat enemies, you gain a certain amount, and depending on that amount, you get a different captain ability. So you should be able to get his at least the second stage of his captain ability, where you get a 5x attack boost, I think it is. And that's going to be really helpful in getting some more damage output for the team. If you stall correctly, you'll be able to get it. But either way, you should be able to activate his special on stage 1 and get the orb boost for the next 2 stages after that. And if you hit your perfects, you're also able to get the chain multiplicative boost on the other 2 stages too. So just make sure you're able to do that to get that chain multiplicative boost. On stage 2, we have the 5+ Shanks to get rid of the damage threshold for us, and he's able to activate a chain boundary. And then you can use Kid Luffy's special, or her super class special, to extend that chain boundary onto the next turn, because I think it extends by 2 turns, I want to say. So you're able to have the chain boundary for this turn and stage 3. And then after that, we have stage 3, which Treasure Map Red Chopper is probably the best unit for this stage here too, because not only does he get rid of special bind for you completely, he does a full heal, so that 80% damage you take at the beginning of the stage basically means nothing, because he's just basically able to fully heal you, and he gives a 30% psi resistance to enemies. So I think this Treasure Map Chopper is really, really good. I probably use him a lot for these kind of things, as much as I do with the Treasure Map Zoro that I was talking about earlier, where he does the orb boost and everything. Both of those units are probably my most used Treasure Map units at this point. They're just really, really good. Consider Rare Recruit Alvida is here to apply the damage reduction for the crew, just in case. Even though we did do a full heal, just in case. I think she provides like an 80-90% damage reduction for the crew, which is really, really good. She also removes defense up by 7 turns, and she also provides a color affinity boost. And now we also have the Anniversary Ace on the crew to give us the chain boost. And I didn't mention it in the little text here. I may fix that before I actually uploaded this. But Roger's here for the attack boost again. And with Roger and Luffy combined, we get the Psi super type and free Spirit super class. So we're able to do lots and lots of damage with this team here. That's really, really good amount of damage. And now for the final variation, being the strength variation to talk about, and probably the most annoying variation, as you'll see in a minute. Driven and Cerebral are going to get the cooldowns, and on stage 2 we have to deal with 5 turns of attack down, and that's not that bad. But on stage 3 we have to deal with block slots, defense up by 5 turns, special reverse by 1 turn, and our specials get locked for 1 good hit. So that's really annoying to deal with, because there's so many units out there that do have special reverse in their special, but have no way of reducing their own special reverse in their crewmate ability. And you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about here. But after level 31, it gets even more annoying, because that special reverse gets increased by 1 turn, making it 2 turns, which is really, really annoying. The spare by 9 turns out of nowhere, and then we also get our ship binded for 1 turn. So that's also just a tiny bit annoying. It's not the end of the world if your ship gets binded, because we do have Limerick abilities for that. But a lot of them are from Limerick expansions. Not a lot of units have just ship bind in their natural Limerick abilities. So you're not going to find a lot of units that do that, but at the same time, it's not really the end of the world if your ship gets binded, because it is just a minor boost at the end of the day. And you can argue here and there, like, it'll still affect your damage output. I mean, yeah, but still, at the same time, this is just a regular Kizuna. They're not going to scale that much, so it doesn't really matter too much. Anyway, for this accessible team, we have the Sugar and the Super Tandem Law team. So the way this team is going to be working here is that on stage 2, we have the Delphi making a return. Like I said, really good with Sugar teams, and he's able to remove attack down by 5 turns, and also give you the 3-turn base attack boost, like in the I think it was the Versus Psi variation. We used him on for that same thing too. And then we can use Sugar's Orb Boost on that stage too if you have matching slots, just so we can have enough damage output to deal with stage 2. Luckily enough, it is 3 turns, so we can carry it into the boss stage. Speaking of, we have the Rare Recruit Karasu, which is one of the few units that you can use on teams like this, or just teams in general that can work under the Driven Cerebral restriction for special cooldowns, because he has the ability of reducing special reverse by 2 turns for the entire crew, and not a lot of units do that for 2 turns. Not a lot of units do that at all. Which is also really crazy. Not him, but a Super Tandem Law is going to be the next one up here, giving us the attack boost and the chain growth multiplier boost, or the chain growth rate boost. which does help it does help a little bit, but now I'm saying that out loud, Sugar does kind of hinder that because that only works for perfects, and Sugar does not hit perfects at all with her Toy Bear mechanic, so, I mean, that's really whatever. Now, we do have the rare recruit Beppo here, who's really good at getting rid of the despair on stage 3, and he does give a chain boost as well. Now, Beppo, the only problem with Beppo is he only gets rid of 5 turns of despair, and we do get hit with 6 because that is a 9-turn despair, and with its sockets, it goes down to 6 turns. So we have the we have the 6+ Corazon on the Law to remove 2 extra turns of despair, making it like a 7-turn removal. So we're able to remove the despair completely with both of those abilities in tandem. Now, we do have the Treasure Map Hyogoro, which is one of those units that does have special reverse, special cooldown reduction in their kit, but has no way of reducing it by themselves, which really sucks. There's a lot of units like that. I found that out when I was looking for units to build to use for teams like this, that a lot of units just have the special reverse in their special, but no special rewind reduction on their crewmate abilities, which really sucks. But anyway, Hyogoro is here mainly because of the defense up and color affinity boost, and then Sugar is there for the Toy Bear mechanic. And with this team, you are able to actually activate Law's Super Tandem, but we found out recently that Sugar does also stop that too. So that information really doesn't matter. I mean, if you don't have Sugar, then you can use someone else for an aura boost, and that does apply. They will get the Super Tandem off. So, I mean, it's really whatever. Now for the next 6+ Sugar team, we have with the 6+ Quick Uta this time around, because, I mean, color works better here for strength teams. So the way this works is that, you know, Uta, this is another good Uta right here, so you can use her on stage 1, 2, and 3. So you use your special on stage 1, and you get the other effects for the next 2 stages. On stage 2, we use Dofi once again to get the attack down removal and the base attack boost for 3 turns. And then on stage 3, 2 units on here actually work really well with the special reverse. So we have the Rare Recruit Quick Sunny as a unit, which is really weird. I haven't watched Film Red yet. I don't think I'm planning on watching it, but I know this unit. I know this is where the unit's from. So I don't know what happened in that movie to make this a unit right here, but I mean, it seems like if you look at the stage information, it seems like they built it just mainly for this unit right here, which is really weird. I don't know why they decided to do it like that, but I mean, it's whatever. I mean, he's really, the ship is really good for this boss fight because it's able to reduce our special reverse by 2 turns and removes the shipbind ability with both the special and the limb break ability, just in case one goes, I guess, off. I don't know why they did a redundancy like that for the special and the limb break ability to do the same exact thing, but it's really whatever. The other unit is the Casino Rare Recruit Yasop from the Halloween Shanks batch, I'm pretty sure, who's able to get rid of the defense up for us, and he does have the ability to reduce cooldowns by 2, just like the Sunny ship, just like the Sunny Rare Recruit. And so if you don't have that Sunny Rare Recruit, you can definitely use the Yasop instead of the Sunny, and you'll still get the same thing. You can just replace the Sunny with like someone else. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head you can replace them with, but you can definitely replace the Sunny if you have the Yasop here. Now, we also have the Film Red Legend Chopper, who's able to apply a minus 50% cerebral resistance to the enemy, giving us basically a 50% damage boost for cerebral characters, which everyone here is. It also does provide the despair removal and does a color affinity boost, so that's all, you know, really good for this team here. And then, like every other Sugar team, we're gonna use her for the Toy Bear mechanic, and you know, get super quick characters and super cerebral characters. Actually, no, you don't get you do not get super cerebral with this team, I don't think. No, you do. You have Yasop on here, so yeah, you will be able to activate Uta's super class special and her final attack because you do have Yasop on here. That's really the one thing I don't like about the 6+ Quick Uta is that she requires characters now to be on the crew, which does make it a little bit harder to team build with her because you got to try to shoehorn in Shanks, Yasop, or somehow find a shooter or cerebral Luffy, which is terrible. But I mean, she's still good either way. This team is, if you ask me, a pretty solid build if you can build this team right here. And now for the last team. So this team is a pretty interesting team, if you ask me. We are using the Super Tandem Sengoku, which, if you ask me, is one of the least interesting legends. Or he's not least interesting. He's like he's not a quote-unquote good legend. He's not bad, but he's not like... his abilities are really, really weird. So, but they do work out here in a sense. So for the way this team works, you do have all colors on the team before you try to, correct me. But we do have the Sengoku, which is Sai, Hina, and Law, which are quick, Akainu, which is strength, Chopper, which is int, and we have Robin Jinbei, which is dex, if you have Robin up and activate a special. So the way this team works is on stage 2, we have Hina, who's able to remove the attack down for the crew and can give us an orb boost if we have matching slots somewhere. Now we also have stage 3. So the way stage 3 is going to work is that we are going to first use Sengoku's super type special, because it does give a 1250 base attack boost for everyone on the crew. And then after that, we're going to use Robin Jinbei's special to give us 2 turns of cooldown, because if we use the special first, we get a 1000 base attack boost, which isn't bad, but I want the higher one. So we're going to use Sengoku's first and then Robin Jinbei's after that. And then we can go back to Sengoku and target Law to get the 4 times attack boost and orb boost, because he does have the entire attack of both Hina and himself. So we're going to target Law for this ability. Now, after that, we can use Law's special to get a chain growth rate boost, which does help with the chain. We also are going to use Red Chopper's special to get the resistance down, the spare removal, and color affinity boost. And we also do have the support of Kizuna Rare Recruit Brook on there for 2 turns of defense removal. And on top of that, we have the Strength Rare Recruit Akainu, or not the Strength, the Super Type Rare Recruit Akainu, which does go really well with the Sengoku, who's able to remove 5 turns of defense up. And since we do have all colors present on the crew, we are able to get his burn conditional boost off, which is going to burn the enemy and through immunity, and give us the conditional boost for burned enemies. And I think his criminal ability also works, because if you, I think it's like, I can't remember exactly what it is, but I think if you attack with this character and you have all characters present, all colors present, he is able to resist down apply the resistance down to the enemy. If you have a tandem slot, sorry. So I don't exactly remember how you get tandem slots with this crew. It's with Sengoku. So Sengoku's going to give you a full board of matching and tandem slots, which does help out with getting Akainu to activate his crewmate ability. I'm actually looking at the database at the same time I'm doing this too. So yeah, that's how you get all these effects to activate and everything. So you're going to get the attack and orb boost on Law. You're going to get the color affinity from Chopper, resistance from Chopper. You're going to get more resistance from Akainu's crewmate ability. You're going to get burn conditional boost from Akainu also, and a base attack boost from Sengoku, which should be doing a lot of damage. This is probably going to be the team I'm going to be using to take down the boss mainly, just because of the fact this team seems very fun and I like to use it. So that's really it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I will see you guys in the next video.